that the death of no other death in IndyCar history before or since has caused more change to the series than that of the death of Dan Weldon. Was it the track? Was it the car? Was it the number of cars in the race? Was it the pack racing? Was it the lack of experience of some of the drivers in the field? Or was it a combination of all these? Well, truth be told, it was probably a combination. It was a lethal mix of all the above, resulting in an imperfect storm that claimed the life of one of the best drivers, really, in the history of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, this side of Al Unser and Ted Horn. So the question is, will IndyCar ever return to Las Vegas? And so, well, at this point, the wound from Weldon is still a bit too fresh to really think about it. However, if you ask yourself, was it the Indianapolis Motor Speedway that killed Scott Brayton? Was it Fontana that killed Greg Moore? Was it Pocono that killed Justin Wilson? And the answer to those, no, it's not the track. There are other factors in play, of which, in the case of Vegas, was more likely the pack racing. Can one say that IndyCar will never return? Well, I guess you can never say never, because never is an extremely long time, and wounds will heal and cars and technology will change. So if I had to guess, I wouldn't rule it out. My guess is, if in any case, if IndyCar should ever return to Vegas, hopefully they'll be wiser and safer than they were in 2011. So hello again, everybody. I'm Gary Gatso. Welcome to Race First coverage of Round 6 of Season 1 of 2022 of the Monday Night Indy Fixed, coming to you from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Joining me again for expert analysis in the booth from the NHR eSports team in the Lionheart IndyCar Series is Stephen Larkamp. Stephen, last time we visited one of these 1.5-mile intermediate tracks, we had side-by-side racing the entire time. However, the low line was superior. Is there any hope for the high line tonight?
I would wager yes to that. What's interesting about Las Vegas Motor Speedway as a racing facility, it shares a lot of similarities to a lot of the mile-and-a-half tracks we're used to seeing. Tracks like Kentucky Speedway come to mind pretty significantly. In fact, it shares a lot of cosmetic similarities to the track out in Sparta, Kentucky. But this track has a lot of potential to use the high line to your advantage, especially on the exit of the corner. It shares a lot of similarities with Chicagoland Speedway in that regard. So, unlike a lot of other cookie-cutter tracks where the low line will reign supreme, it's certainly going to be a preferred way of doing so if you have the chance to. But I can also see a lot of potential for not only pack racing, but also for multi-groove racing, where you can get a lot of momentum off the corner, especially later on in the going, where tire wear becomes more and more of a consideration. I can certainly see a lot of side-by-side pack racing tonight, and with the field once again as close as we're used to seeing here in the Indy Fix Series and Top Split on the Monday night, I think we'll have a lot of people trying that out.
Well, before we get going here, we got once again, two track records to speak of here, because kart and IRL/IndyCar raced here in the past. The kart track record, there's two of those. The qualification track record held by Patrick Carpentier, driving for Forsyth's Racing in a Lola Ford with a speed of 205.186 miles per hour in 2004. However, in the race for Newman Haas, Bruno Giugiaro turned a draft-dated lap of 206.375, and that's what they're crediting for the race record for kart. For IndyCar, Arie Luyendyk, while driving for Treadway Racing in a year-old prepared Firestone-shod Reynard Ford Cosworth with a speed of, and this is this held as a mile-and-a-half world record until it was beaten by kart at Texas by Kenny Breck in 2001, but at 226.491 and 96. And both of these were set on the original 12 degrees of banking. So stand by in the garage area. It's time to go racing. With that tonight, it's a look at tonight's starting lineup.
On the pole, the #1 machine of Adriano Pinheiro has been mad fast all season. He's the first driver into the 24.6s, albeit barely. A 24.699 is his qualifying time. Alongside him is the #26 machine of Rafael Eckert. Friend of the show, Dakota DeMague, starts third. A very strong performance from him in his #9 machine, alongside the 15 of Tyler Kolsar. I almost said coleslaw there. That may well be a nickname of his. Joao Ritter will roll off 5th. Of course, a champion in other IndyCar series before. He'll start off 5th alongside Bruno Miranda, the winner at Indianapolis, who has been also showing a lot of speed this season. AJ Musselman, a regular in the Lionheart IndyCar Series, rolls off in 7th alongside the 17 of Adriano Frapporti. Thomas Geisler, once again a race verse regular. He will start 9th in the number 7 alongside the 12 of Guillermo Parkel, rounding out your top 10. Trey Shadid in the number 6 rolls off 11th alongside the 13 of Jeff Highsong. John Silva will be 13th alongside the 3 of Pablo Diaz-Francis. A bit of a rough qualifying for PDF. Let's see what he can do from that position. Gaetano Papalardo, who put on a great showing at Michigan until an unfortunate circumstance happened at the end of the race, rolls off 15th alongside the 2 of the winner at Michigan, Chris Wilhite. Matthew Mercer will start 17th alongside Aaron McQuarrie, numbers 19 and 23 respectively. Justin Miller will roll off 19th, and rounding out the top 20 is Nicholas Sudik in the number 4, another fast driver starting towards the rear of the field. We'll have to see what kind of progress he can make. Uriam Rubens in the 25 rolls off 21st, alongside Gonzalo Romero in the 14. Will Lyon, the winner at Road America, starts 23rd. A lot of work for him to do, alongside the 18 of Mark A. Murphy. And finally, the back row of the grid, TJ Mayshaw in the number 5, and alongside the 21 of Valmore Arnhart, who is normally fast on these tracks.
Oh, wait a minute! We got a wreck already on the startup lap there, on the pace lap.
Adriano Pinero and Rafael Eckert are both involved in it. We'll have to get a look at that one again.
We had to have a wheel or something give out. So this is going to be interesting.
Oh, no, I see what happens here. The 26 drifted down and net coats the number 1.
So that's going to move Dakota DeMade up to the pole position.
An unexpected twist, to be sure, but I'm sure Dakota DeMay likes the view in front right now, even if he's a bit bewildered at what he's just seen in front of him. Quite an unorthodox start here,
wow,
folks. We are certainly not used to seeing this, especially from drivers of this caliber. But we're about to get green here. 75 laps. Pace car is down, about to come down now. Dakota DeMay, the new unexpected pole sitter, gets his foot down. Green flag in the air. Las Vegas is go.
And 3 wide behind him.
Wolsar on the low line there. That's Joao Ritter, I should say. On the low line, he gets through into 2nd position. Wolsar and Bruno Miranda up on the top line. He's starting to get freight trained already. See if you can find a clear gap down low. Not quite yet. That's Guillermo Parkel trying to go down the low line there. But it will be Dakota DeMay across the line here. He'll have to relish that while he can, because what I'm expecting here is for all these guys to catch up once more in the draft and close back up on the leader, make this a legitimate race.
Wow, what a start. I'm kind of speechless there.
I don't blame you, Gary.
I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say. I mean, that's not even Guerrero-esque in the 500. Some just weird stuff.
That is bizarre. It's almost like kind of Roberto Guerrero-esque, but also I could say like the US 500 in 1996, where multiple cars. Oh, there's contact right there. That's Klosar getting forced up onto the high line there. He's got AJ Musselman on his low side there. No incident there. Very close quarters there early on, but Klosar lost a few positions there. He went from 3rd down to 6th.
Got a lot of movers and shakers on the track right now. Chris Wilhite up 9. PDF up 6 now.
Very good start for Pablo Diaz-Francis. This is what we expected from the man. He's put on a lot of great shows before in the IndyFix Series as he's looking all over the gearbox of Chris Wilhite. This is for position number 7 here. As now he's looking to the high line, trying to get as much momentum off the corner as possible here. And not quite able to get down that low line. Wilhite defending well. But PDF looking to the top side.
Look at that top line.
Look at that top line come into effect. Beautiful job. Pablo Diaz-Francis up to P7.
And again, he's going to wash up. He almost got into the back end of Kolsar there. He drafted up on him really quickly. Is it me as the high line's coming in?
It certainly seems like it's got a lot of potential. This is certainly not what a lot of people may expect from other mile-and-a-half circuits, but this is one of those tracks where if you can get the momentum going and if the tire wears in the way we expect, that high line will become valuable real estate later on down the line, as Thomas Geisler is looking to exploit as he's harrying the back of one of his teammates, Dakota DeMague.
I don't know how much they're probably working together here. I don't know how much are actually raced. 3 wide coming off a corner right here. Pablo Diaz-Francis down low.
Pablo Diaz-Francis on the low line trying to muscle his way past Fraporti and Klosar. And Joao Ritter up on the top line as well. He moves up to P3, a mega start right now for PDF, and he's now on the inside of Thomas Geisler for second.
Well, he's going to get stalled out there because Geisler is definitely...
Oh, problems! Joao Ritter! Ritter's at the wall! Oh, more cars getting involved in it as well!
Oh, Justin Miller.
Trying to figure out who that was. That is likely to be a caution if we don't... no caution yet, but one car is stuck up in the wall. Ritter is able to get it down onto pit road. I believe Matthew Mercer is one of them. And Justin Miller as well. No caution, amazingly. They were able to get them reset in time. But that is 3 cars out of the running already. Alongside the 2 that wrecked even before it even started.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say that Thomas might be acting like a bit of a wingman up there at the moment, and if he gives PDF an inch, PDF will take a mile. And also notice up there another pink car entering into that battle. It's the 14 of Gonzalo Romero. He's part of that Nicky Racing organization, and he has worked his way up into the top 5.
Great start so far for Gonzalo Romero. Started 22nd and up to 6th. If you thought PDF had a good start, just look at what Gonzalo's been able to do in similar machinery effectively. But I also recall once at Fontana last season, one particular incident between the 2 teammates that may have cost them a shot at a win, cost PDF at least a shot at a win. I'm sure they've remedied that situation long before now. But let's see what the 2 teammates can do in this race tonight. Let's see if they can make up for that.
Also
and
sneaking in. Sorry about that. Sneaking in on the top line there. Here comes AJ Musselman up into the top 6.
Musselman trying to follow Romero along him too. Musselman seems like he's just going to be playing it relatively conservative right now. He's working around the high side of Adriano Fraporti. Beautiful move, actually, to get by him. But Musselman...
got some lap traffic coming up here.
Ooh, lap cars already. We're working lap 13 here out of 75.
Ooh!
Oh, very close course. Everyone's scrambling to get around the lap car.
What's that? Wow!
Is that Valmore Arnhart? It is Valmore Arnhart in the 21. And he is... I think he may as well just made himself a right nuisance for much of these guys. Almost caused an incident there. But everyone else behind him now trying to work his way around them. Tyler Klosar is the next driver that has to negotiate with him, along with basically everyone trying to get by him, because Fraporti's trying to work that top line as well.
A little bit further on back, P11, Will Lyon, last week's winner, and an admitted not an oval guy, but once again, these road course aces always hustle us pretty good, and he's up 12 spots in this race, and he's doing his looks like his Indy Fix debut with Indy Alliance. Congratulations to him as Indy Alliance picks up yet another ace of a driver.
Will Lyon, the Englishman, doing a great job so far. And then you say that about oval drivers upshowing the about road course ringers upshowing the oval guys when they come to the super speedways. I kind of fell into that position a while back, but Lyon doing a great job. He started 23rd, now banging on the door of a top 10. But everybody else, meanwhile, up there, they are furious with Valmore Arnhart as they try and work their way around that lap car. Now, of course, there's no blue flag that he has to adhere to. We don't have rules like that like in Formula One. But it's basically a faux pas, shall I say,
yes,
for him to be holding them up this much, especially when the pack is as intense as it is here tonight.
Yeah, racing etiquette, and racing etiquette is a big thing because these guys have long memories. They will take notes. They will remember that. They will remember if you cut them a break, they'll give you a break. If you didn't give them a break, they're going to race you tooth and nail. And racing etiquette says that is not a cool thing to do. And that it's often a thing that you don't see from, I don't want to say this because it's bad, from the European side or certainly the South American side, because they're used to Formula One. And Formula One, there's a whole different type of racing etiquette when it comes to IndyCar racing. So it may be something that he's just very familiar with, that type of etiquette for IndyCar racing.
I'm not sure if that would be true, because I've seen Valmor Arnhart before in the Indy Fix Series, quite frequently actually. He has a reputation as an aggressive racer for certain, but I'm not sure if I've ever seen him like this in this situation when I'm certain he would know better than this. So it just makes it even more bizarre to me that he'd be putting up as much of a fuss as he is and causing everyone else to kick up a fuss when they're trying to deal with him. But meanwhile, I'm looking up towards the pack here. Dakota DeMague looking behind as they're going 3 wide once more. The two teammates sandwiching Thomas Geisler as they battle 3-car tussle for P2.
Best name on the grid, Papalardo, up to P8, up 7 spots. Okay, so we got a lot of movers and shakers, and it's just going to be the nature of this track. Pablo Diaz-Francis up 12, Gonzalo Romero up 18, Chris Wilhite up 9, TJ Mashaw up 16, Rubens up 11, Will Lyon up 12. It's just got some big-time movers and shakers, and it's because of the draft. But right now, I got to tell you, no one's been really able to get to the rear attenuator of Dakota DeMague here relatively within the last couple laps. Problem is, if we're going to keep this up, we got pit stops coming up, and that's really going to break up this field.
This is true. We're expecting about 50 laps is the maximum they can go on the field, somewhere in that area. So, if in effect we're getting close to that fuel window now, is PDF running very high on the exit of 4, pushing up Geisler a little bit in their tussle. But getting back to the point there, pit stops are definitely going to be a major factor, especially if we go green for as long as we have and possibly longer, especially if all the wrecking is well and truly behind us. We certainly hope so. But that being said, Dakota DeMague is loving the position right now. And you got to remember, with the clean air in front of him, he is in the best position possible. Not just track position for obvious reasons, but also for tire wear. That is another thing that is going to be a major benefit by running in clean air. If you're running behind, you have that aero push to worry about. You're not getting as much downforce over the front of the car. So that is going to wear out the tires a bit more and force you to take alternate lines to give yourself some downforce. There was Geisler, maybe almost close to a love tap there as PDF clears him and holds on to P2 right there. But Geisler, not the man to be given up in that instance.
Yeah,
he is going to fight this one.
Those two need to watch netcode because that's going to probably impact them the most.
Very true. It's been the silent killer, as we always say, throughout much of the season. You gotta be worried what the computer is going to say about how close you are, and if it thinks it made contact when in any real world setting you wouldn't have. It doesn't care. You're still going to be dealing with some issues as Gonzalo Romero gets a massive run down the backstretch, trying to go around the outside of Thomas Geisler.
Yeah, almost got forced into the wall a little bit. That's kind of the danger that you have when you try to pass people on the high side. When they make that exit off of 2, naturally they'll just start flowing up near the wall, and if they're not paying attention, and I'm not saying Geisler was not paying attention. He could have squeezed him up there a little bit too, but if you're not really paying attention, you can put someone into the wall up on the high side because the high side is kind of OP, especially getting that run down the backstretch.
Yeah, if you think Geisler ain't paying attention to that, I think he wants to force Gonzalo Romero to run as high as he possibly can to ruin his momentum coming off the corner there so Geisler can hold on to that low line for that position. That seems to be his game plan for the time being, but Romero seems to be, well, he seems to have the better car underneath him right now. He's working that high line to great effect. He's actually got a great run down the straight. And now trying to work that high line once more. Can he get the run off? Looks like
wrecking in the back, wrecking in the back. We got 3 cars involved.
One of them is Guillermo Parkel. I'm seeing him on the front stretch. And I see, looks like Adriano Fraporti got involved in the contact there and sent him around.
Yeah, we actually got a view of that after turn 4 exit cam, and we saw that incident. So that's going to slow down the field, and guess what, folks? It's going to be pit stop time.
Yep, no time like the present, especially since we are certainly in the pit window now. We're working lap 29 here. So everyone bunching up once more behind the pace car. Dakota DeMay, he will bring them down. No, he's not.
No, interesting.
So DeMay and Pablo Diaz-Francis is. Oh, they're actually slowing up for the pace car. So I see the reason there. That is bizarre, actually.
Okay, so those guys that all went down pit road. Interesting.
So,
that's going to be a penalty on them.
From Aaron McQuarrie, from what I'm seeing, someone ran into the back of somebody while they were checking up there. So what I'm thinking happens and what happened here, that may have been a very clever move by PDF. If I have this correctly, by PDF and everybody involved, we'll have to see what happens here at the end. But a lot of guys came on the pit road. So
pit road wouldn't have been open though because the field wasn't collected behind the pace car. The pit road should be open now.
But actually, what I think happened here, especially with so many of them coming down, here's what I think happened, Gary. When the pace car was coming around off of turn number 4, usually when the pace car reaches the pit exit on its first out lap, the pit lane opens. So what PDF did was actually stop before he got to the pit lane. Not like slow down, dead stop, and waited for the pace car to pass. Then he went on to pit row when it actually opened. So he may have timed that absolutely perfectly and got himself a pit stop when, under normal circumstances, he would have got a penalty. And now Dakota DeMay and Thomas Geisler have to come in on the next lap. So that may have just ruined Dakota DeMay's race.
We'll have to see how this shakes out. I'm not sure. I really am not sure. I thought pit road does not open once until the leader is picked up by the pace car.
Yeah, I think usually when I see it happen, because I've seen I wouldn't say a similar situation, but I've seen situations like this before, where it's pretty much determined when the pit lane opens. It's when the pace car reaches the Sunoco sign, shall I say, at the entrance to pit road. When the pace car passes that, pit road opens, so everybody will come in. So what I think there is that PDF timed it to the letter, playing it by the letter of the law, and coming onto pit road right when it physically opens. So that may have been, if I'm right on this, PDF may have just pulled a master stroke move here.
We'll see. We'll see how this shakes out.
Well, this has certainly turned to an unorthodox race, wouldn't you say?
It started unorthodox. It's now it's reached unorthodox. It's maintained its an unorthodox state. Let's put it that way.
And well, if what I've seen before is any indicator, it may well stay that way up to the checkers. So I think we're in for quite a show at the end here, with everybody topped up on fuel and fresh tires. I think a lot of people are going to be going back to their darting and diving ways, trying to get as much track position as they can here, because this is it for them in terms of fuel. Maybe they'll have another set of tires if they want to, but this is where the hard racing could possibly begin.
Now it looks like we're getting 3 cars. We're getting the wave around, 1 to green now. We'll see. We'll see if everybody up front here gets a black flag, or possibly you are correct. And unfortunately, that was just unfortunate timing for Dakota. It seemed like it took forever for that caution that came out. And by the time Dakota saw it, he was well past the pace car and slowing down.
So I'm actually hearing they've waved off the restart for another lap, and I'm seeing the 10 machine. I actually see a car slow on the front straightaway. I believe it's the number 10 of John Silva, just coasting along right now. I'm not sure why they waved it off for another go there. I don't know if there was another incident, but John Silva seems to be driving very, very slow. No rush at all to catch up to the back of the field.
Yeah, got him on cam right now, showing him catching up to the back end of the field. So we are delaying the start by 1 lap here, as he rejoins the back end of the field. Hey, some of these guys at the end might stop down and top off. I think they they could probably make it to the end now, for sure now. Because it's 50 laps, yeah, they don't need to do that stuff. This is not a fuel mileage race anymore.
Yeah, especially for the leaders, it's certainly not a fuel mileage race at this point. It's going to be down to hard racing and possibly tire management if we go green for a long period of time.
Yeah,
And actually, one thing I'm
if this was a
Yep.
400 or 500 miler, I'll see that opportunity as especially if I'm further back on the pack, still on the lead lap, is juck down on pit road and top off the tank just a little bit.
Oh yeah, yeah, that'd be probably be a nice little thing to try, especially early on, especially if this were early on in a 500-mile race. You'd of course, as Bobby Rahal would say, you want to get the car going, car alive for 450 miles to sprint the last 50. Well, at this point in the game, we're about to sprint the last 50, as it were. We're good to go to the checkers on fuel. Everyone else, as I mentioned before, we have one more set of tires to go that everyone can take, at least everyone that's only pitted once. So this will be the sprint phase at this point. We're approaching halfway here. We'll be lap 34 when we take the green.
Hey, if you enjoy Race First coverage of the Monday Night Indy Fixed and you respect the weekly stream, make sure to support us by smashing the like button below and subscribe so you don't miss out on the next race. Do it now. Do it real quick before the start. Do it. We appreciate it. Thanks a lot. We get ready to go green here on the lap, coming to lap 34.
The two teammates, 1-2. PDF gets a massive jump over Gonzalo Romero, caught sleeping there. AJ Musselman tries to look to the outside there, but a great start for Pablo Diaz-Francis, as I'm sure he wanted. Musselman trying to harry Romero there for P2. Meanwhile, TJ Mayhew and Chris Wilhite battling it out for P4 behind them. But I'm expecting once more to all these guys to catch up to the rear end of that number 3 machine. Pablo Diaz-Francis across the line, leading once more. AJ Musselman actually led over. Wait. Pablo Diaz-Francis is disconnected. He is disconnected from this race.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was a network failure or anything. It says he manually disconnected. So I'm not sure what happened there. This race just gets more and more bizarre by the minute.
And here comes Chris Wilhite, and we're getting ready to go 3 wide coming off the exit of turn 2.
Wilhite all over the back of PDF's teammate Gonzalo Romero, who's inherited the lead.
I am totally speechless so far in this race. Everything that's been weird has been weird.
It's even worse since we're in Las Vegas. If there were any bookies on this race, they'd probably be screwed. Oh my goodness. What a crazy race tonight. I'd say this has been the craziest I've seen since I started covering the Monday Night Indy Split since last season. But Gonzalo Romero inherits the race lead. Chris Wilhite now all over the back of him in the number 2 machine, of course. Ooh.
Got a little bit of a twitch there. Looks like he might have just caught the apron just a little bit. Remember, apron bad.
Careful. Gotta be careful with that apron, especially.
Oh, Wilhite trying to get that last second move to get the slingshot on the outside. Can't quite pull it off.
Not quite there yet on tire wear at the moment, but Chris Wilhite, the winner in the season opener on Monday night on the Monday night broadcast at Michigan a few weeks ago, he is well in the game now after starting 16th, and Gonzalo Romero started 21st. He's now in 22nd, I should say. He is now leading this race. What a crazy switch up of the order from where we started.
5 rows deep.
This, my friends, is pack racing. This is the stuff that we saw in the mid-2000s in IndyCar for years, and this is being replicated once more in the IR18s, hopefully with a bit more safety precautions this time. Of course, we're in the digital world, so that wouldn't exactly matter in any case here, but Tyler Klosar, who has cleared Chris Wilhite, and Papalardo making a huge move high, makes it 3 wide for P2.
On the exit of corner 4, hey, hold on to your butts, here we go! 3 wide, coming 4 wide to the start-finish line.
Oh, everybody getting antsy right now. They know that they have the fuel to get it going there. They don't need to save anymore. So they want as much track position as they possibly can. Gonzalo Romero, of course, has the best seat in the house to watch it in his rearview mirror behind him. But Tyler Klosar and AJ Musselman battling it out for P3. Chris Wilhite cleared them once again. He's up to second once more. but Papalardo looking to tuck in behind Musselman and follow through on that low line. And TJ Mayhew getting the run once more on the top side there. We're maybe getting to the point where the higher line starts to be more effective on the tires there as the tires wear off. And, of course, the guys on the low line are abusing them a lot more in the draft. The high line will become beneficial to the guys that are using it with better tires.
Here comes Urban Rubens in that green car, and he keeps getting right down there on that white line in the corners on the right down there, right where the apron transitions, and he's just playing a little bit too much Russian roulette there, and that's going to cause a big wreck. He's staying off it right now, but he is definitely hugging the bottom for all it's worth.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a way for him to. One way to play it safe and steady is to just hold a consistent line somewhere, and he's chosen the bottom line for that. Of course, Urban Rubens, another one of our big movers, as he goes 3 wide once more with, I believe that's Tyler Klosar, who's lost a lot of momentum there, and now TJ Mayshue's all over him as well. But Urban Rubens, another one of our big movers, he started 21st, now currently scored in position number 6. A very good job for the 25 machine tonight.
Nayshaw with a big run off of turn 2.
Oh, Papalardo just tucks in line once more. He has made a massive move up to second place behind Gonzalo Romero. And
where the heck is Adriano Pinero?
Where is Adriano? And
he's 6.
There he is, Adriano Pinero. The pole sitter is back after getting involved in a netcode incident early on in this race. What a recovery drive by that number 1 machine.
Out of nowhere, just like an RKO. Here comes Pinero onto the high side and right behind AJ Musselman as he's starting to pull a bit of a train there on the high side, looking to 3 wide going through turns 1 and 2. Let's see, AJ puts a bit of a block on. Pinero with a run on the high side, 3 wide going down the backstretch in the 3. AJ Musselman holding his line for all it's worth. Not a lot of room to give. There you see him dodging and ducking.
I will say this. I remember a few weeks ago at Road America where I called Adriano Pinero's drive through the field up towards the end of the race kind of Senna-esque. Tonight, though, I'm probably calling him John Cena because you didn't see him coming. After what happened, you certainly did not see this coming. But that number 1 machine is absolutely flying once more. A very good, very excellent recovery drive again from one of the best in the business on the Indy cars. And now, but still, he's got some of the best to work around as well. He's side by side with TJ Mayhew for P4 right now. And next up in line, if he clears him, which he does, is AJ Musselman in the number 8. But Papalardo trying to get a run on Romero for the lead. Not quite doing it once more. Gonzalo Romero easily has one of the best advantages you could have in this situation. The low line, running consistently on the bottom there, and everyone else has to do the hard work behind you.
Riding along board, Adriano Pinero right now. And, ooh, TJ Mashaw cuts right down the front. As soon as he heard clear, he didn't waste any time.
It may have been before he heard clear. That was a close call there, but he gets away with it, of course. Very good timing by him. Pinero tucks back into P5 there. He's got Chris Wilhite all over his gearbox. And once more, Urban Rubens. He's actually got a lot of clean. Rubens has got a lot of clean air there, but Pinero gets a great run actually on AJ Musselman. Ooh, it almost runs to the back of Mayhew there in turn number 3 there. Close calls once again. As I say, we're working lap number 51. 25 now, making 24 laps to go. We're beginning lap 52 now.
Papalardo trying to make that high line work. He got a run last time, almost pulled it off.
Papalardo, another one of our movers. He started 15th, now challenging for the lead of this race. He put on a great showing at Michigan, was wrecked out on the final lap of the race while battling for at least a podium, maybe even a potential win. Hopefully history will not repeat itself for his sake tonight. He certainly doesn't want it to repeat itself. 3 wide behind them.
Now, can someone take advantage of this lap car and try to get a draft to get the pull around Romero there? I think that's what Papalardo's trying to do, and he has that draft. Problem is, that car doesn't have pace, but he got the draft, and he is now equally alongside. Going into turn 1 here.
That certainly helped Papalardo. Now they're 2 wide, side by side in the middle of the corner there. Romero on the low side once more. He still has that edge there. He has the shortest way around. He does manage to clear Papalardo once more. He has to tuck back in line there. But using that lap car to the advantage and to his advantage while he could. Very good move there by Papalardo. Good effort there.
There goes Pinero looking 3 wide going in the 1.
Adriano Pinero out of nowhere. Here he comes. All over the back of Papalardo trying to get the run. They try to go 3 wide for the lead. Not quite doing it once more. Papalardo and Pinero once again have to tuck back in line. Looking behind them, TJ Mayhew and AJ Musselman are looking at this with interest for sure.
We've had a couple of incidents today. One before the green. We had a couple of incidents, one in the race that didn't cause a yellow. Then the other one that did cause a yellow. About each one involved multiple cars. We have not had the big one that happened at the front collecting multiples yet. But you got to think at some point, pace is going to run out, and somebody's going to push the issue here, and we get into the closing laps here at Las Vegas.
Yep, the more laps wind down, the less the patience is going to be around. Their patience meter is nearing an end here. And this track is seeming like it's going to reward hard driving, hard aggressive racing for certain. But Gonzalo Romero, in the most serene position he could possibly imagine since PDF unexpectedly left the race. This has been kind of smooth sailing for Romero with a few odd challenges from the likes of Papalardo and, of course, Pinero, who, once again, they're trying to make it 3 wide. And for those of you wondering, I want to clarify a little something here about the incident on the pace lap with Pinero. The reason I think that Pinero got away with this and is in the position he is now is because the net code worked in his favor. It ruined the night of the 26 machine, who was, of course, wrecked out early on in this race. But the net code contact and the fact that he kept it off the wall in that incident, that is certainly the reason why he's there. The net code helped him. It hurt the 26 machine of Rafael Eckert, unfortunately, before his race even started.
Still showing Eckert on the racetrack. He's way in the back there by himself, but he is probably nursing one damaged car.
Seeing him 8 laps down registered at the moment, so a big shame for Rafael Eckert. At the end of a night that had so much promise ended even before the race itself started in earnest. But Gonzalo Romero still liking this position right now as Papalardo once again tries that high line. Not much he can do there. He's pretty much just banking on Romero making an error and getting off that low line.
We got some lap traffic going to play a game here too, as they're entering turn 1. Who is going to be able to get that draft and get the momentum to bring it around? I tell you what, Romero is letting enough of the bottom open that if someone really wanted to push the issue off of 2, they can get a nose down there, and that's what's going to happen, though. There are no rules that say below the white line is out of bounds or anything. Right now, they're just playing a gentleman's agreement, and when you do go below the white line here, especially in the front stretch, it can be dangerous. You will see cars start to do it at probably on the last lap, but as you see, yeah, he didn't leave much of the bottom side open there, but a couple laps he left the bottom side open. If some car wanted to stick their nose in there, they probably could.
They would have to be extremely careful, though, because the main problem with running that bottom line, of course, when the banking starts up once again, these cars will be sent around right quick. It will be an abrupt transition, so much so that the car, that no matter how good your reactions are, you are going to be sideways at the very least, wrecked at worst. So that gentleman's agreement may well be a thing for a reason, but I wouldn't be shocked if someone tries to make a move work at the end of this race. I mean, as crazy a race as we've gotten tonight, it would be an all too fitting way of coming to the checker.
Papalardo trying to get enough of the draft so he can get on around Romero, complete the pass. not able quite to do it. Riding along on the roll cage right now of Papalardo and that Menards, Team Penske Menards livery there.
Simon Pagenaud definitely liking that his old paint scheme running up front. Of course, he's not going to be racing with Penske next year. He's going to be going to Meyer Shank Racing. But Gonzalo Romero is still loving that low line right now. And of course, he's on the, really in effect, even though he came in at the same time as everybody else, he is going to be on the freshest tires of the entire field, because everybody else is going to has been fighting for track position here, and that's going to wear out their tires a bit more. But Papalardo certainly looking for, ooh, as Romero kind of drifts up a little bit off the corner.
Yep, I'm telling you, as he starts to drift up, that bottom might pop open and someone might want to take it.
Could be. Someone might try to stick their nose in there, but Papalardo up on the high line once more. We're working lap number 68 here out of 75 here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. I'm going to say whatever gamble somebody may have placed bets on at the end of this, at the start of this race, I may well have gone right out the window there, and some lucky sod who thought that Gonzalo Romero, who started 22nd, would be leading this race at this stage. They are going to make some serious bank at the casino tonight. DJ
Mashaw is going to make a move into this pack here with 7 laps to go. He's trying to find an opening so he can slide in. Tell you what, just bad luck for Dakota. He has not been able to quite recover. He has been stalled back in 13th position. Thomas Geisler's moved up into the top 10, but we have not really seen them two in contention for anything since the restart after their that odd pit cycle. Right now, we still show Mashaw in 4th, Rubens in 5th, Wilhite in 6th. Will Lyons worked his way up to 7th. Kolsar is 8th, Musselman is 9th, and Geisler is 10th. That is your top 10 as we're coming to 5 to go.
5 laps to go. Papalardo and Pinero. Papalardo, Pinero, and Romero. We seem to be try saying those 3 words 3 times fast because we've been saying them all night, it seems. But
and they're wrecking! And they're wrecking!
Airborne! Oh my goodness! The leaders are right. And Dakota DeMeg's in it too. Dakota DeMeg got caught up in it.
And I don't know. That might be the race. That might be the race.
It could be. 4 laps to go there. And you know what happened, Gary? I mean, Papalardo was coming down a little bit to put pressure on Romero. But netcode happened.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go rewind here.
There was no contact visually from what I'm seeing.
Yeah, let's rewind here a little bit, and while we got time. Yes, netcode for sure.
Oh my goodness. So, as amazing as this all sounds, Adriano Pinero, the man who was wrecked on the pace lap, is leading the race, getting this close to the checkered flag, and I think we will. This may well end it under caution.
Well, we might see 1 lap. We'll see. We will see.
Might be a 1-lap shootout. We'll see. Oh my goodness! What a night so far. I mean, you wanted craziness. You got it tonight in spades, folks. This has certainly been one of the most bizarre nights on the Monday night broadcast I think we have seen thus far. But looking at the top 10 once more, when everything is shuffled about, as it were, and some even shuffled about by flying in the air, Adriano Pinero leads, started on the pole, got wrecked on the pace lap, but comes back to the lead.
We got a car damage rolling in the back a little bit further back. That's going to be Silva?
I see Dakota DeMeg trying to keep it going in 17th there, but he is running right up close to the wall, and his suspension is just...
Oh, yeah, he's got a trike. A bad trike at that.
3 wheels on my wagon.
So, yeah, let's go
Whoa.
over the top 10 real quick. It's Pinero, Mashaw, Wilhite, Lyons, Rubens, Kolsar, Musselman, Geisler, at Silva, and Fraporti. That is your top 10. We're going to see if possibly we're going to get one to go here at the line.
That's going to happen. The pace car lights have to go out on this lap in order to have a one-lap shootout here. Survey says no, it is not. The race will end under caution. Adriano Pinero, unless something happens on these final 2 laps. I mean, with what we saw, I wouldn't put it past them. But this has been, I think Pinero himself has put it best in the chat. Unbelievable. What a night. Adriano Pinero, wrecked on the pace lap, comes back to win at Las Vegas.
Yeah, that's a story that might pay off in the championship later this season for the Division 1 Fixed Series Championship. Managing to get the pole. Looks like everything's starting off great for you. Getting effectively knocked out in the even before green. Managing to survive, work your way back up to the front, and as circumstances would have it, finds himself now in the lead under caution, coming to the white flag, I believe, here to wrap up this 75-mile or 75-lap race here at Las Vegas. And now we start beginning to look forward to next week in Richmond.
And if you want another track that's known for great racing and even a bit of chaos along the way, Richmond Raceway can certainly fit the bill as well as Las Vegas. So we're certainly going to be having a lot of fun both tonight and next week as well from Richmond Raceway, a track that we wanted, that the IndyCar Series was going to go to in 2020, and then, well, let's just say 2020 happened.
The 2020 happened.
Yeah, let's just be generous and say that. But kicking off the year 2022, what a race of chaos here at Las Vegas. Pinero, as calm as he has certainly had since the race began, just cruising down the Nellis Straight behind the pace car.
Hey, before we wrap this up, I see that we got 10 people watching and only at 8 likes. So the 2 of you out there that haven't given a like, hey, got to give this race a like. So again, give us a thumbs up. We appreciate it. And make sure to hit subscribe and the bell so you get notified of other race first coverage coming up here. Tomorrow we'll be covering the Formula Indy Series race from the Motegi Road Course. And on Wednesday, we will be covering the Revolution IndyCar Series, IndyCar League, Schaefer IndyCar Series, when they go to a race that will be just equally as crazy, probably even more crazy, as they will do 75 laps in the IndyCar at the iRacing Super Speedway, and that's on Wednesday.
And you want chaos. iRacing Super Speedway, essentially Talladega on steroids, can fill that. But Adriano Pinero crosses the line to get what I can imagine is one of the most bizarre victories he has gotten, quite possibly in his entire iRacing career. Well done to the #1 machine. A masterclass in how to come back from adversity. Great job for Pinero.
Let's go ahead and bring up tonight's final results here from Las Vegas. There you have it. The podium for tonight is Adrian Pinero with the improbable win becomes possible, and he gets that victory as he's doing burnouts there at the start-finish line. TJ Mashaw, great drive to the front, 23 spots gained over the course of this race. Great race on his part. Chris Wilhite, 13 spots gained to get to P3 on the podium here. Your top 5, Will Lyon, the road course ace, admitted road course ace, is going to probably make himself to look out more like eventually a Nigel Mansell or an Emerson Fittipaldi. He'll probably take a liking to these ovals here eventually. 19 spots gained to P4. Urim Rubens, 16 spots gained to P5. Tyler Kolsar, AJ Musselman, Thomas Geisler, John Silva, and Adriano Fraporti make up the top 10. Jeff Heisong, Nick Sudik, Aaron McQuarrie, Bruno Miranda, and Mark Murphy is your top 15. Get to the next page. There we go. 16th is Valor Earnhardt. 17th, Trace Shadid. 18th, Gonzalo Romero. 19th, Dakota DeMade. 20th, Gaetano Papalardo. And that whole event screwed up those guys' days big time. Dakota was already kind of suffering because of that weird first stint pit issue. P21, Raphael Eckhardt. P21 Eckhardt, excuse me. 22, Matthew Mercer. 23, Joao Ritter. 24, Pablo Diaz-Francis under very mysterious circumstances. Guillermo Prequel, 25th, and Justin Miller, 26. Prequel, Miller, and Ritter were all involved, I believe, in that first incident that did not bring out the yellow. That is your 26-car field here from Las Vegas, or Lost Wages, is something I like to call it. Let's see if there's anyone here in the booth.
See Chris Wilhite and Dakota DeMay.
Well, we only got Chris Wilhite here. I'm almost positive that Dakota does not want to talk. I'm almost positive. I don't know. We'll see. Let's go ahead.
Maybe he doesn't. He just wants to vent. You know.
do I need to get my finger ready on the beep button?
Maybe just to be sure.
Let's go ahead and bring up Chris Wilhite into the broadcast booth. Get his take on everything that happened. Hey, Chris, got you in the booth. P3 driving all the way from 13th in the mid pack there up to the podium. Kind of a different race. A lot of strange stuff going on, just no matter where you looked. What it looked like from your point of view in the seat there of your car.
Thanks, Gary. It was a crazy night, right? Like a couple guys wrecked on the pace lap. I mean, I guess that kind of set the tone for the evening. And there for a while, when you had tires, I mean, you could put the car anywhere you wanted. And it was wild, 2 wide, 3 wide, guys making moves. You could move up the pack, but then, man, you really chewed up your tires, and then you were hanging on, and just kind of had to trust the guys around you. But yeah, it was a little bit different than I thought it would be. I thought we would really stay packed up, 2 wide, 3 wide the entire night, but the tires wearing off just wouldn't let that happen.
Yeah, Steven.
Well, so obviously with all the chaos happening here, it's obviously something that you don't expect, especially since you've gotten familiar with a lot of these drivers and especially how good they are on their day. But what sort of but when dealing with a race as chaotic as this, what sort of feelings go through your mind when you've seen how crazy the race is before? Are you expecting that? Are you expecting to see just everything fly to pieces right in front of you the next second, or are you just trying to keep I'm sure you're trying to keep yourself cool in that.
Yeah, you're definitely ultra aware of what's going on in front of you, and for us, we just the big points night for us, right? We're trying to run for the title.
Absolutely,
we're in first place right now. So, at one point I was second, and I was trying to make some moves, and I'm just kind of like, you know what? I'm just gonna ride here in second for a while.
Yeah.
So it was that kind of night for us, and then other people's unfortune towards the end there with first and second wrecking ended up good for us. But yeah, we were just kind of night like this, things crazy. You'd be happy coming home with the top 5, and we got a podium, so even better.
Next week is Richmond. Everyone likes Richmond, but these cars traditionally do not race very well there. We've seen in the best of times, even some very disciplined series have caution fest after caution fest. What's your take on Richmond for next week, and are you prepared?
Yeah, mark me down as one of those guys. I love Richmond in this car. I love this car in short tracks, right? Because we get on these intermediates, and I know it's good for TV, but it's not the best racing. You put this car in a short track right now, and we actually get to go out there and race. Now we'll see how the set is, if there's grip or if it's a little loose. You're going to see a lot of cautions. If it's a little tight, people are going to crank up the weight jacker, and they're going to spin on their own because of the weight jacker. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm expecting chaos next week, but our plan will try to be qualify up front and be out in front of it.
Yeah, just to be up front and avoid it. That is definitely a plan. While we got you here, and first of all, thanks for staying around and doing the interview with us. Any shout outs? Anybody want to say hi to while we got you still here?
Yeah, appreciate that. So, quick shout out to you guys. You guys are doing a great job this season. I've watched every one of them, so appreciate what you're doing. Big shout out to Adriano. I mean, the guy got wrecked on the pace lap. He came back and win. That guy's so good.
Yeah.
So props to him.
We even nicknamed him John Cena because you didn't see him coming.
I tell you what, all of a sudden I looked up and he was in front of me. So awesome win for him. And then quick shout out to High Side Motorsports and Bumper Thumper. And appreciate what you guys do. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Thanks for being a part of it, and congratulations on the P3. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
And there he goes back down to the interview. I believe Pinero also, this has been a pretty good 24 hours for him. I believe he won the Indy Elite Series race at Road America yesterday. So that would have been his first win in that series. That's an open series. That's extremely tough series. So we already know, he's already competing at the top level here and fixed. And he's already competing with the top level and open as well. And if I think he might be in the Lionheart IndyCar Series, but you would know better than I would. But yeah, he's definitely one of the best. And man, just what a drive on his part. I'm looking at the points right now, as mentioned by Chris. And Chris does have about a 60-point lead over Jesper Orman right now in P2. Andrew Marquez in P3. Alex Vanasant P4, Thomas Geisler P5, but Pinero is sitting there in P6, well within grasp here. We're only halfway through the fixed season. This thing's not over yet.
Far from it, and as far as well, really, if this race could have been a major shakeup, and it looked like it in a lot of ways. I mean, it constantly changed lap after lap after lap, and not in the most peaceful way, shall I say? But Las Vegas this is one of those tracks where, I mean, as the gambler always says, you gotta know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run. Adriano Pinero, he not just ran, he sprinted back up to the top after one of the most bizarre starts I'd ever seen. And he is walking away with a big bag of points and maybe even a lot of chips at the casinos, and that he could have won with that luck. So
yeah, go buy a lottery ticket for sure. Yeah,
but that's not to discount his performance at all. I mean, this was a masterclass by Adriano Pinero. I've said this before about the guy. He certainly is a fantastic driver, and he's proved that not only with his win in the Indy Elite Series the other day, but tonight as well. With that kind of performance, that is a statement, I would say.
Oh yeah. Looking in chat right now, Nick Sudika not happy about his performance. It's okay, man. It happens to the best of us. See my performance at Atlanta on Saturday. Anyways, yeah, we won't talk about that one, but he had a much better day than I did there. Atlanta, speaking of, we'll actually see that in a couple of weeks, and that's going to be the old bumpy Atlanta, and that's going to be really fun. But next week is Richmond. You talked about it a little bit. It was on the IndyCar schedule as a regular through much of the IRL years. It was kind of the return to the short tracks. It was the first short track that's less than a mile that IndyCar ran on for the first time in a very long time. You could argue, depending on where you measure it, that Nazareth is less than a mile. But Nazareth is considered
Iowa too.
Yeah, well, Iowa's fairly new here, but in terms of in the IRL years, Richmond was kind of the first IndyCar track that they visited that was less than a mile for almost 30, 40 years back when they did a lot of the dirt track stuff. So we're visiting there. I've seen some arguments where people like this track, and then I've also seen the arguments from I5G guys where they don't like this track because they historically showed, like, in the first year when Buddy Lazier won the race, he led like 70%, and the next year the winner won like 80% of the laps and led like 80% of the laps. So I think what they're saying in the real world is a boring race, but maybe here in the virtual world it's a little bit more exciting. So join us again next week for that. But that's kind of all I have to say. Anything from you before we get on out of here?
Wow. I'm still pretty bewildered by what I saw in this race. I mean, Great performances out of a lot of people, but a lot of chaos sprinkled into it. Lady Chaos certainly had her way with this race tonight. And call her Lady Luck or Lady Chaos, but he certainly smiled on Adriano Pinero tonight. A great performance to showcase a great talent, but man, oh man, did we have a lot of exciting moments to get there.
Yeah, you definitely said it. So that's it for tonight. Once again, your podium from Las Vegas is Adriano Pinero, TJ Mashaw, and Chris Wilhite. Join Race First again next Tuesday. I'll be coming to you from the 3/4 of a mile bull ring, Richmond Raceway, for round 7 of season 1, 2022 of the Monday Night Indy Fixed. That's next Monday night, 7:15 Eastern Time on YouTube at youtube.com/racefirst. Hey, we love bringing these races to you, but they're never easy, require time and money to produce. We have brought you coverage of the last 2 seasons for free out of our love and the passion of the sport of IndyCar. If you're just as passionate as we are about IndyCar and would like to see Race First coverage of the Monday Night Indy Fixed continue again for next season, please take time to visit our GoFundMe page. The link is in the description, and donate to our Monday Night Indy Fixed broadcast fund. We realize times are tough, so any contributions greatly appreciated. We thank you for watching and making us a part of your Monday evening. Now, as you know, the YouTube algorithm game is not an easy one, so help support Race First with the weekly grind by help support Race First with the weekly grind. Please leave a comment below to listen to tonight's race. If you enjoyed tonight's coverage, support us by liking, smashing the video. And if you're new, click subscribe. While you're at it, hit the bell for weekly reminders so you don't miss out on more Race First iRacing programming, including our exclusive coverage of the Midwest Kindy Warriors Formula Indy Series on Tuesdays and the Revolution IndyCar League's Schaefer IndyCar Series on Wednesdays. Check youtube.com/racefirst for time and availability in your area. And announcing tonight on Friday, May 13th, join myself, Steven, and 2-time Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Series champion Alex Vanison, as we undoubtedly will have others in the booth, as we will bring you coverage of the fixed Indy 500 bottom split. That's bottom split coverage on Friday the 13th. What could go wrong? For business inquiries and to learn more about Race First and what we do, visit racefirst.com or follow us on Twitter. You can follow me, Gary Gazzo, on Twitter at Gary Gazzo. So for Stephen Larkamp, everyone at Race First, I'm Gary Gazzo saying to all, good night. Thanks for watching. To all our men and women serving in the military and as first responders, Godspeed. God bless and come home safe. Thanks again, and catch us next week for the next race of the Monday Night Indy Fixed. Good night.